Hi guys, I'm Mark, and today's beer that we're going to be looking at is a lager which I brewed for the Lager Than Life competition run by the London Amateur Brewers. Now, with this beer, what I wanted to do was show that by using modern equipment and yeast strains, you can actually still make a really, really good quality lager in a very short amount of time, but without having to use Kvike, so that you can still enter it into a competition as a true lager with a bottom fermented lager yeast. So to do that, we used White Lab's WLP 925, which is the high pressure lager yeast, which ferments at about 18 to 20 degrees in a pressure fermenter at 15 psi. And from start to finish, this beer took 2 weeks and was ready to drink. So if you're in a rush for a lager and you want it to be a true lager, potentially this is an option for you. But why don't we see how it got on in the competition, and then we'll move on to the review. But before we do that, smash like, hit subscribe, and enjoy the video.
In the first place of this table is Mark Rogers and Jamie Penny with the winner. Now we're going to move on to best of show. Yes. We have an honourable mention for Mark Rogers and Jamie Penny for the winner, an international pale lager. Well done.
Hi guys, I'm Mark.
I'm Penny.
And we are the Oyster Boys, and today we are reviewing another lager.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same lager as we did last time.
Yeah.
But this time, rather than using a Kvike yeast, I've used the White Lab's WLP 925, which is the high pressure lager yeast.
Oh, okay.
So it is the exact same recipe, exact same mash, hop additions, etc., etc. However, the yeast is different. So it's just to see, I suppose, really, we'll rate the beer because we always rate the beer.
Yeah.
But also, what's different?
But so obviously it's fermented under pressure. What temperature do you do that then?
So this one's done at like room temperature, so it's like 18 to 20 degrees. I've got it in a fermentation fridge anyway, so I know what temperature it is, but you probably could just do it in your house. Yeah. With a spunning valve set to 15 psi, and then after a week when it's fermented out, drop it down to 2 degrees, 1 degree, whatever you can get it to, and then sort of like cold crash it, keep it under 15 psi of pressure, and then at the end of it you're done, ready to
So how long do you cold crash it for?
So I just kept it in the fermenter cold crashing for a week at 15 psi, and then transferred it to
2
a
weeks,
keg.
you're saying we've got a lager. So it's bottom fermented, so it ticks all the boxes.
Pardon
You've not
me.
even started yet.
I know, yeah. 2 weeks, start to finish, and ready to go. Bottom fermenting, true bottom fermenting lager yeast, so you can enter it into a competition for lagers, which we have. Let's have a little shufty at these. Now, for some reason, my one's clearer than your one. Yeah. They're both off the same keg, poured at the same time, but
obviously you give me mine first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's a God tier 9. Nice white head, golden colour. You can see everything through it. Right. Look at that.
Right. So yeah, I'm going to judge it off yours. I mean, the cloudy head is really like white as it can be, isn't it?
It's not lingering very long.
Mine has. So are you sure they're the same beer?
Yes,
It's
off the
two
same
different
tap.
taps. Yeah, you sure? You've
Yeah.
got twin taps. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give it a 9. I can't not, can I?
Now, I would say the Kvike one, I think the head did hang around longer for some reason. You know, everything's the same apart from the yeast, but the one with the Kvike, the head.
Oh, so the recipe's completely sorry.
Yeah,
I missed that. Completely the same. Yeah.
Exactly the same, apart from the yeast. Have I not mentioned that?
No.
Should we give it a sniff?
Yeah.
Now, it's not as clean smelling as the Kvike one. It's not a bad smell, but you can get like some malty sweetness, I think, from it.
Yeah. So remind us what hops you used in this again. Was it just SARS and Hallertau?
SARS for flavour and aroma, and then for bittering, I use the Hallertau Magnum.
Yes.
Because it's cheap. Well, yeah, alpha acid is like 17%, so it's super cheap. But you get some nice spicy SARS, like some floral notes, but then I'm getting some like sweet maltiness.
Yeah, maybe a bit of yeastiness as well. So it's like that.
So like kind of sulphury smell, like slightly sulphury smell from the yeast.
Didn't you say this stunk as well when you were making it?
Oh yeah.
So even though it's under pressure, you could still.
Well, yeah, because it's got to vent the pressure, so it gets 15 psi and then vents anything above that. And when you open the fridge,
so it's doing little eggy farts.
One thing I would say about this beer, because I have drank quite a lot of this. The next day, your arse is toxic.
Oh, okay.
It is.
Charlotte's in for the street.
It is horrific. Really bad.
Right. Okay. So well, I'm going to give it a 6.9.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm a bit more generous. I give it a 7.2. You know, I like the bit of a malty smell.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
I think maybe that eggy farts the next day just maybe knock it down.
Should we taste it?
Yeah. Cheers.
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 Cheers. Oh, it's good, isn't it?
It's a good beer, that. Again, same as with the Kvike. It's great that you can get a beer out this quick.
Yeah.
This is 2 weeks start to, you know, brewing to drink it.
So crisp.
Really, really crisp. It does have more of like a malt flavour than the Kvike one. The Kvike one was like super crisp, but it didn't really have that sweetness. This has still got that spicy SARS from the hop additions, but it is a nice spiciness as well. And I really like that in the other one as well. But I do think that you are getting more of the malt flavour through in this one. Now, malt wise, it was a pretty easy grain bill. It was basically the Wyman Premium Pilsner malt.
Sorry, I didn't knock the glass off trying to scratch my beard.
So the Wyman Premium Pilsner malt.
Yeah.
And some carapils to help with some mouthfeel and head retention. The head retention's, you know.
Yeah.
Like
I wouldn't put any more carapils. That's. I think you've hit
no,
it.
No, because you don't want it to be thick while you're drinking
Yeah.
it, and then just some oat husks because you know you don't want to be sparging for a year.
Yeah.
But I think it tastes great.
Yeah. I mean, the levels of beer that you can pull out now with a home brewer. I mean, fair enough. No, it's true though. But fair enough. Obviously, the equipment we've got. You know, we're doing the all grain, and then we've got the Firmzilla and stuff like that. So it is.
Yeah, you're buying into it, aren't you? You're buying into it. I mean, you can't. Well,
it's not beer in a bucket, but yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, particularly with this yeast. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can make great lager in a plastic bucket.
Yeah.
But you couldn't use this yeast, and you couldn't churn out one with a Kvike in 3 days, or you know, one like this in 2 weeks. Because you need the pressure fermenter to do it.
The Stella was made obviously in a bucket sort of thing, and it was great. And it took a long time. Yeah. So okay, well, I'm going to give this an 8.5.
Yeah, I'm going to get exactly the same, 8.5. I know that the one with the Kvike was a higher score, and I do think I preferred that super clean flavour that it came with it as well.
The hoppiness with this, do you feel it's a slightly different flavour with the hoppiness?
I don't think so. I think it's just that. I think
bitterness.
At
the start.
The hop additions are the same.
Yeah.
And maybe they're shining through. Maybe they shine through more with this yeast. But
maybe.
I'd have to think back. The problem is that we finished the other one.
Yeah, so we'll have to ask the people for the competition bit to send it back.
Yeah.
So, but I personally think that straight on the mouth, straight away, it has got more of a like that bitter and hotness.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So just the pure bitterness. So
what do you think for 77p a pint?
I know. Which is that's got me to do all the work and got straight in there.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's mega. I mean, obviously you did the big batch, didn't you?
So yeah,
28 litres.
So because I've got the Firmzilla all-rounder, I thought to myself, well, you know what? Rather than just making 20 litre, 19 litre batch normally we'd do for one keg, it's like that fermenter can take more than that, take 30 litres. So
yeah,
let's push the grain father a little bit further. And see what we get out of it. So yeah, 28 litre batch.
How was that with the grain father?
It was all right. It took a long time to sparge.
Yeah,
just because
I can imagine it's the pure volume.
Yeah, because it's like you've got, I think it was 16 litres in with the grain, and then pretty much a 16 litre sparge, and then you've got pretty much when you come into a boil, you're at 30 litres in a G30. So what I actually did, good point, because I almost forgot about this. I bought some, I can't remember what it was called. I'll put the name of it at the bottom of the screen. It is a kettle addition that you put in, which stops it foaming up when you add hops. So when you're boiling, when you put your hops in, normally it's like really big, vigorous boil up.
Is that how close to the edge you were?
Yeah, I had to buy a separate addition for the kettle to stop it.
So that should be included in the price, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it's like really thick earwax. It's horrible trying to scoop it out because then it gets stuck on the spoon. Yeah, it's like a paste. You scoop it out, it gets stuck to the spoon. You got to flick it in. But honestly, I was really high up in the grain father, and when I had the hops in, I mean, I'll put on the screen. I'll put on the screen what happened. Lifesaver, you really can push it a bit further with that. But so anyway, 77p a pint.
Did it say that only those that have gone too far know how far they can go?
Yeah. I mean, I have made beers before where I've flown too close to the sun and just had beer everywhere, which is why I pressure washed the patio.
There we go.
But yeah, with this one.
So you could just literally, you did a close transfer to a small keg and a large keg.
Well, that's exactly what I did. Because you've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No oxidation, so it's just going to taste exactly like this.
Yep. Look exactly like this, tastes exactly like this.
So.
Mega beer.
Yeah. So right. Beer. So 77p.
Yep.
That's really good. I'm going to give that an 8.8.
Yeah. 8.8 for me as well.
Yeah.
77p in 2 weeks. Come on.
Yeah.
And sessionability though, this is the problem.
Well, so that night when you had the toxic arse the next day, how many did you do?
I must have had 8, but I could have.
Yeah.
Again, it's
just ran out of time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
you had to go to work.
It was. I think it might have been a Sunday night, and I was like, I've got work the next morning, so I really had to sort of like draw them up. But again,
8 pints. You had to work the next day. Jesus.
It was a tough day.
Working from home.
But because I texted you last night, and I said, I've got to stop drinking this beer because otherwise there's not going to be any left for us to
review. Yeah.
To review. It is so easily crushable. Like you've got a 10-litre keg of it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to last you very long.
No.
I really, really don't.
So, well.
So yeah, I mean it's 9 because I had 8 and I could have had more, but I don't know how many more, so I'll say 9.
So 9. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna match your 9 as well.
I mean, anyone that's watched our videos before,
I think
it's not often that we're pretty much finishing the pint by the end of the.
I think if it was a sunny day, it might have got a higher score as well.
But beers like this, and this is what I really like about the yeast strains that are available and the equipment that's available now, is that like the weather's going to be starting to get good, right?
Yeah.
I've got beer taps here, which they're not plumbed in. Well, I mean, everything's under there, everything works. I've not had them on since last summer, so I need to clear all the lines and everything. But I've got all the stuff here to do it, to be able to churn out a beer, to say to people, you know, one weekend, come round next weekend to mine for a few beers, and in that week, I can make the beer.
Well, you can sort of look at the weather, can't you? And there's going to be a heat wave, right? Order the stuff, comes next day.
Yeah, and that's it. You can sort of like delay your other brews, get a couple of good lagers done, or lagers, depending on which yeast you're using, churn them out really quick, and just have them absolutely ready for a scorching hot summer's day.
Yep.
I love it.
You can't ask for any more than that.
Science, guys, science. But yeah, I mean, so we've done everything, haven't we?
Yeah. Oh, we've got to pull the score out.
Yeah, I think.
Nice and easy for you.
Yeah, here we go. Here's the oyster score for this beer. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Smash like, hit subscribe, and that's it. I'll take. Oysters out.